guys, Jay here. Welcome to Models and Memories Weekly, episode 44. Models and Memories is a show about nothing and is filmed in front of a live studio audience. This is a show where I talk about my painting, modeling, and wargaming experiences from the week. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Jay, you put out 3 YouTube videos a week and you stream every single night. How? Could you possibly have more to say? Well, I do. And here it goes. This week, I actually got a lot of hobbying done. I finished painting some models. I finished painting these Centurions on stream. And these are by far some of my favorite 40K models of all time. I absolutely love these. I remember as soon as I graduated college, probably like the day of, as I submitted my last paper, I purchased these for myself. I actually got myself 2 boxes. I was really bad. But I got them all built, I got them all magnetized up, and I super duper love them. I continued my idea of not wanting to paint just black armor because I find it so boring now after painting 10,000 points of black armored Black Templar Space Marines. And so with my suppressors, I painted them all white, and on these guys, I painted them half black, half white. And I really, really like them. They remind me of that Seinfeld episode, the look to the cookie, Elaine, look to the cookie. I wanna watch that episode. But super duper in love with these guys. I can't wait to paint the other 3. I actually have to build the other 3. I've been contemplating turning it into a video. It could be a video on magnetizing them. It could be a video on kit bashing them. It could be a video on painting them. I'm not quite sure what angle I wanna take, but it is on the list. There's also like 60 other video ideas on the list, but it's on the list. But I'm super duper happy with how those turned out. And these were selected by our patrons over on Patreon. Everything I paint on YouTube is selected by them. I give them a selection of options and then they pick which one, and it was finally the Centurions. And right now, we're painting Kroot. So if you wanna come watch us paint Kroot, you can come to the live streams. But that is not the only hobby I got done. I actually, this was quite a week, I actually cheated on Games Workshop. Kind of a lot. I got myself another Malifaux team, and this, my pile of shame is growing a little bit too much right now, and so I really kind of want to bang these out so that I don't feel so ashamed of myself. But these are the Malifaux Makima core box, the Nephilim, and another box that also said Nephilim on it. That's as much as I know right now, but I got them all built, and Malifaux models are very interesting to put together. They're a little bit different than Games Workshop models. Games Workshop models are toys. Like, they're designed so that anybody at any skill level should be able to do it. And I really like Games Workshop models. I think they're great. I really like them. But Malifaux models are a step above. The fit and finish is pretty much flawless. There was very little mold lines, but hard to build. There were some components that it's not a lot of peg and slots. Games Workshop, usually you either have a really, really big butt joint that you can glue together, or it'll be like a peg and a slot. Whereas Malifaux models are often like, this piece perfectly nests into that piece, and so you put plastic glue on them both, and then you just touch them together, hold them there for a few seconds, and then let the plastic glue finish gluing. But they're a little bit challenging. If you want to try out something that is different than Games Workshop and maybe will push your hobby skills and put you to the test, I would definitely suggest a little Malifaux. They're beautiful, beautiful models, but they are tricky. I mean, this lady with the whip, boing. Boing. Risking the biscuits on that. I'm gonna have to be very delicate while painting. But I have my whole team built. I'm pretty shocked at how big this stuff is. I mean, Nekima is like almost 3 inches tall, whereas the last the last Malifaux team I put together was all regular humans. And so, a 32mm human is what? A little over an inch tall? Big model, but super excited. I got them built this week. I would love to get them based next week, and perfect world, I'd have them painted the week after that. perfect world. That's not gonna happen, but that would be amazing if it did. And then I would have my Malifaux team, and I would have a loner team. It would be super great. But that is not the only cheating I did on Games Workshop this week. I got some more Star Wars Legion. My Star Wars Legion pile, I was doing so well. I bought a bunch of Rebels, I painted a bunch of Rebels, I finished a bunch of Rebels, they were done with, I was gaming with them, and then I moved on to the Empire, and basically all of my Imperial stuff is still new in box waiting to be built. And so I have one box of Imperial Shore Troopers, I have one box of Imperial Scout Troopers, I have one more box of Stormtroopers, and then I have a tank. I have one of the Imperial Ground Assault tank, the Imperial Persuader, not Imperial Persuader tank. I have the Imperial Rogue One tank, and then my Imperial army will be somewhat complete. It'll be certainly in a very playable state, and that'll be fun because then I'll have my Rebel army and I'll have a loner army for Star Wars Legion, and then eventually I will get all of the Clone Trooper stuff, and then finally I'll get the droid stuff. And I think the droid stuff might be my favorite, but I can't let this get away from me too much. I got 2 more boxes. I think I have 2 other more boxes sitting around, but I'll get it all done. I will, I swear. But yep, we got some Malifaux and we got some more Star Wars Legion. Since starting Kill Team for Games Workshop, I haven't bought anything for my actual 40k armies, I guess in 6 months since Kill Team started. It's fine. I think that's okay. So in the newsy news, Games Workshop has come out with more Eldar models. It seems like we're just going to keep on getting new Eldar models for the foreseeable future. And this week we saw the new Dark Reapers. And these models, I think, are pretty dope. They definitely interest me a little bit more than the Guardians. I think they look really, really good. And from the general consensus, seems like they're pretty darn good. They are just the original sculpts updated, which for me, I think I would have preferred a little bit closer to a redesign than just a remake. But I understand that that's not really what most people want. Most people don't want their old models invalidated by a new model. They just want to see what they like, done better, more modern, cleaner, easier to put together, better to paint. They just want an improvement as opposed to a complete changing of everything. Whereas I feel a little bit more changes in order. But I get it. You know, they're not making this for me, someone who doesn't collect Eldar, isn't planning on collecting Eldar, and doesn't really like Eldar. So maybe they shouldn't go with my opinion. But I really, really dig these models. They have some fun features. I like how chonky their legs are. I think it makes a lot of sense, especially it kind of offsets how silly they look holding their gigantic weapons. I feel like if they were just regular Guardian bodies, it would look a little bit weird when they have these monstrous weapons. But I do like that they have a little bit broader shoulders and chunky legs that really makes it look like they really can plant themselves and use these kind of like chainsaw grip weapons. It's very, very cool. The only negativity I've been seeing with these models is about the face. And you know, I can totally go both ways on these faces. Part of me thinks that they look really, really cool, but somebody compared them to jack-o'-lantern faces, and they're not wrong. They do kind of look exactly like that. Really, I always feel like whenever I'm looking at a brand new Games Workshop model, when I'm seeing it from the Heavy Metal team painted up for Warhammer Community or for their website, I feel like I don't really know what the model looks like. I feel like really, once the model gets out into people's hands and regular folks get a chance to paint it, that's when you find out what the model really looks like or what that model is capable of. Whereas the Games Workshop paint scheme just shows you a very clean, accurate, perfect representation of the model, but it doesn't show you like, I don't know, I hate when people use this expression, but like it doesn't feel like it has a lot of soul or heart, just meaningless words, but I think it's just the formula of it, like, really, really sharp edge highlights, not a lot of blending, a little bit of washes, and the reason that they do it that way is because it's very, very clean and clear and it's easy to replicate. But Games Workshop has different priorities than we do as painters. We just want to have a good time, have the models feel like a representation of ourselves, and to, actually get things done and finished and on the table. But Games Workshop has different priorities. They need something that looks really, really good in photographs, that is easy to teach to other painters, because many different painters paint for their heavy metal models, and they need things that'll all blend together nicely for photographs. Like, when they need to have a Skitarii box that is fighting against the Adeptus Mechanicus, they need both of those models to look good next to each other. They can't have one army painted to like a golden demon level and then the other army painted, back like it's 1998. They need everything to look crisp and clean together. So it's just the reasonings for things, because clearly we've seen different things in the Games Workshop web store where they let people go all out and they're flawless and amazing and beyond anything that 99.9% of war painters are capable of. So anyway, these faces. I don't really mind the faces, but I definitely think we're gonna see a lot of people do a lot of things to fix these faces or to change the faces or to make the faces better. Some ideas I've heard that are really, really cool is filling in their jack-o'-lantern face with green stuff and just having like a blank hood. That could definitely look really, really cool and kind of match some of the wraith constructs that the Eldar have. I've seen some people are planning on overly accentuating the mouth. On the old Dark Reapers, they definitely had bigger mouths, whereas the newer ones, they're a little bit smaller. And so I think if you just exaggerate the lines of the mouth, I think that would help a lot. The eyes are kind of interesting. The eyes are painted in the classic Games Workshop style of like a primary highlight and then a secondary highlight. It'll be interesting to see. I think if you just really exaggerate the eyes and give them like a lot of glow, I think that would totally fix the faces. And I think I would be tempted just to paint the faces as is, because I actually think they look pretty good. But really, really cool to see another Eldar aspect warrior be remade, and I'm assuming that we're gonna get the last two. So really, really cool stuff from Games Workshop. I also love their like hockey pad armor dick tabard. I think out of all of the dick tabards that Games Workshop makes, these might be my favorites. These look like they could properly protect a dick. Like, I think that these look really good. Last week, I asked you guys to help me pick what Warhammer book I was going to read next after I finished with the first 3 Horus Heresy novels, and I got tons of great suggestions, and I actually have taken into account all of your picks, and Spears of the Emperor, the Space Marine book, ended up with 6 votes, Hammer and Anvil got 13 votes, and Honorbound got 14 votes. So Honorbound is the book that I started listening to, and I'm about 5 chapters in. Also, I got tons of great suggestions of books, and keep those coming. Some of the new books that I've added to my reading list are Baneblade, Shadow Sword, Faith and Fire, which is actually book 1 of Hammer and Anvil. I didn't even realize that because I really like it when sequels to things have a big fat number 2 in the name, as opposed to just a different name. But it seems like it must be something about publishing that makes that not work. Like you don't want to have, you don't want to have Harry Potter 1, Harry Potter 2, Harry Potter 3. You want to have like, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Commerce, Harry Potter and the Prickly Porcupine. Like you want to have names for everything so that everybody's confused and has to look it up. Like maybe because you'd think that some people would just decide to give up at that moment and they don't know the order of things, so just never look into it. But maybe that is the strategy of there's a book series and you actually have to like Google what the order is to read them in, and so now you're invested. I don't know, it seems weird to me. I like numbers. I like, let me know what is book 1, 2, and 3. But whatever. Faith and Fire, Legion, Gaunt's Ghosts, and Master of Mankind. I've added all of those to my reading list, and please give me more suggestions of other books to read. I'd love something in like maybe a Tau Or I've read some of the Necron books, but I'd love some more Necrons. I'd love to get a little bit better understanding of some of the Xenos races. Maybe even Eldar, if such a thing exists. But I'm about 5 chapters into Honorbound, and I'm really, really enjoying it. The book drops you off immediately into the middle of a battle, and it's actually one of the better battles out of these wargaming books that I've read. I think one trap that war scenes run into in movies, but at least in movies, like spectacle can take over for where like storytelling is lacking. But in a book, there's no spectacle at all. I don't care that cannons are firing and that the pew-pews are going and that somebody just got shot. All of that is just noise. I like when they use that to tell a story. And this book actually did a really, really good job of telling a story with their fight scenes. You get introduced to almost all of the characters through them fighting. So like they might explain that they do explain that somebody has taken their grenade launcher and they've converted it to full auto. And they explain that they're shooting guys with a full auto grenade launcher, but you find out that they like to make their own stuff, that other people don't like them very much because they do that sort of thing. It's not kosher, but boy, are they efficient. And so in that battle scene of the shooting the fully automatic grenade launcher, they're able to tell you who that person is, what they're like, and what other people think about them. And so it's really efficient. And that is what keeps a battle scene interesting to me, not just a million guys fought another million guys and it was cool and awesome and you should have been there because it was great. Like, I don't know, war scenes are tricky. And I think this one handled it really, really well. But unfortunately, after those first 3 chapters, the battle concluded, and then we get into like the nitty gritty politics of the book, and I think I'm gonna have to go back and reread chapter 3 and 4 because it threw a lot of names at me and it threw a lot of events at me, and I need a refresher because those are things I really have a hard time in reading books, like keeping track of names, keeping track of where people are at. The battle scene, it worked. It was really, really cool. It had one like disturbing moment because in 40K, everything is awful and terrible and no good and very bad. And so the commissar has to shoot someone who's a deserter. And actually that was kind of cool because they really did not give that deserter a lot of things for you to like about them. But the commissar has to shoot another person who you like and who she likes. It's bizarre and horrible, but like they're fighting a psyker, and psykers are monstrous and evil and they can make you do things. And so the evil witch makes somebody scared and run away, and that person gets executed for getting magically scared and running away. It's so horrible. But it really sets the tone of the book. And it's weird that everybody hates Severina Rain because she's awful and a terrible person and a murderer, but they also respect her. It's a really weird Stockholm situation that the entire Imperium of Man is in with itself, but it makes for a really, really fun read, and I'm excited to keep going in the book. But that is what I'm working on. That is what I read this week. That is all of the stuff going on. Actually, it's not all the stuff going on because we have merch. Yes, Eons of Battle now has merch. We have t-shirts and sweatshirts with some wonderful arts that we had commissioned, and they are lovely and awesome and super duper cool. And if you pick up those shirts, it is a great way to support us doing what we do and making videos. Also, if you're in the US and you buy one of each design, if you buy the 2 t-shirts, you get free shipping. But if t-shirts aren't your thing and you still want to support us, the best way to do so is by becoming a member of our Patreon. Over there, you're going to get access to some terrain STLs. You're going to get to vote on what models I paint live here on YouTube, like these Centurions. You're going to get some exclusive content, including 1 exclusive show per week, and more. But with that said, that is what I worked on this week. It was a busy, busy hobby week for me. But with that said,